Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Overby. I'm the Director of Criminal Justice Programs and Academies at Skagit Valley College and also the Director of District Security for Community College number 4. It's a pleasure to have you all come today to attend the graduation ceremonies of this graduating class. I would like at this time to introduce to you the 2014 24th session of the Parks Law Enforcement Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we'll have a presentation of the colors by a color guard of the cadets. The flag of the United States of America will be borne by Sean McCaffrey from Oregon City, Oregon. The National Park Service flag by Amanda Lowe-Llanes of Kona, Hawaii. The Washington State flag by Megan Ortega of Spokane, Washington. And the City of Everett flag borne by Kyle Christensen of Granite Falls, Washington. Class, attention! Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Post colors. One step to the left. Move. Class. Right face. Present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem. It'll be performed as a guitar duet by graduates Wayne Hartlerode of Compton, Arkansas, and Christopher Hendrix of Independence, Ohio.
Class, order, arms. Left, face.
Color guard, return to seating. At ease, you may be seated. It's truly my privilege to introduce to you Dr. Thomas Keegan, the president of Skagit Valley College, who would like to welcome you to this facility. Dr. Keegan.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff of Skagit Valley College, I'd like to welcome you to the 2014 Skagit Valley College Parks Law Enforcement Academy graduation. I'd like to extend a special welcome to the families and friends of our graduates, especially those, or including those watching this on a live stream from across the country. It's nice to see so many supporters of our students here today, including our partners in law enforcement. I'd like to thank you for being here to honor and celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. The Law Enforcement Academy began at Skagit Valley College in 1990. The Academy is just one of a handful of such programs in the country, and it's the only one in the Pacific Northwest. And the program, as you know, is recognized around the nation for its high quality and rigorous program. And as a result, students come to our program from around the country to study here at the Academy. In fact, of the 19 graduates today, 10 of them came from other states. The individuals before you today have recently completed a demanding and rigorous academy that encompassed the entire spectrum of law enforcement training. It encompassed the entire spectrum of law enforcement training, including an emphasis on natural and cultural resources enforcement. And they have worked very hard and deserve to celebrate today. So I wish each and every one of you all the best as you begin the next chapter in your professional life. And I thank you for being part of our academy and wish you congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Keegan. At this time, I'd like to recognize Skagit Valley College staff who may be in the audience, and if I name people who aren't here, or if I fail to name people that are here, please kind of roll with it, if you will. I'd like to introduce Sinead Fitzpatrick-Ploggy, the interim dean, the associate dean of workforce education. Sinead, are you here today? T. Davis Overby, the night school coordinator and workforce programs assistant and director of community education. T also serves as the lieutenant for the academy. You'll hear more about that later, I think. Dr. Terry Edwards, criminal justice faculty and lead instructor. Carl Young, the executive director of the Skagit Valley College Foundation and Global Advancement. Carl? And at this point, I'd like to introduce in the audience anyone from Skagit Valley College, faculty and employees who are in attendance, because as they say, it takes a village to raise a group of cadets. So any of you who are out there, please, if you would stand. Okay, busy teaching school. It's what happens on Wednesday graduation. That's all good. Is there anyone from the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission in the audience? Okay, sometimes we have those folks that arise as well. Advisory committee members, we have a few of those in the audience and up on the stage. I'd like to recognize advisory committee member and the chief of police of the city of Mount Vernon, Jerry Dodd. The Chief of Visitor Protection and Law Enforcement for the Washington State Parks and Recreation Commission, Robert Ingram. The Operations Supervisor for the Snohomish County Parks Department, Rich Patton. And I know that in the house somewhere here is, oh, there he is, Kinsey Schilling, Chief Ranger at North Cascades National Park. I know that there's a ton of instructors that these cadets have encountered. I saw some of them out in the hall mingling around and working the crowd, and I can't begin to tell you how important your contribution in learning has been. These cadets will take with them as they go out the door the messages of your instruction and the quality of work in that regard. So regardless of agency or affiliation, if anyone who has contributed as an instructor or a role player in the work of the Academy this year, would you please stand? Once again, thank you very much for that important contribution. We have a number of folks that are here representing law enforcement. Would you please stand? Anybody in a uniform or out of uniform that's a cop, come on. I know you're there. There you are. Very importantly, I would be remiss if I did not recognize those who have served their country and upheld the values of this country and the armed forces. Those of you with a current or past background in the armed forces, if you would please, we'd like to show you our gratitude. That includes cadets. Thank you so much. Additionally, we have some personnel that are in attendance here that ought to be mentioned. And it's unique that we have this opportunity to do that. We have members of the National Park Service who actually have graduates today among us. So I'd like to recognize both Chief Ranger Chuck Young and Fawn Bauer, the interpretive ranger at Mount Rainier National Park. Please. And I'd also like to introduce Chief Ranger David Ashe of Channel Islands National Park, and his wife Ann, who's a budget analyst at that facility. We have heard from the governor of the state of Washington, who was honored to have been asked to the graduation ceremony for the 2014 Skagit Valley College Law Enforcement Academy. It's Wednesday, April 23rd, 2014. His statement is, unfortunately, previous commitments on his schedule will not permit him to attend. However, Governor Inslee has asked me to extend to you his best wishes and heartiest congratulations on your achievement this afternoon. This is a time when we have an opportunity to talk about the Park Law Enforcement Academy and speak in detail about the depth and breadth of the Academy. It's been operating since 1990 at Mount Vernon in the Skagit Valley College campus, and is one of only a handful of National Park Service approved and federally accredited programs nationwide that's dedicated to the proposition of training the next generation of protection park rangers. The program at Skagit's a long one. It's 720 hours and is quite simply stated a police academy with a natural and cultural resources emphasis that's taught on a community college campus. The 19 graduates today will join the ranks of over 700 graduates from the 24 academies over the years that have completed this program. Your graduate today has endured considerable academic, physical, and skills-based training and is eligible to move on toward employment in this field. They have done it well. It's time for them to serve those special places in America. I'd also, as the commander of this academy, I'd like to thank in the most sincere terms possible the families and the loved ones who have supported their graduates over the past several months as they conclude this chapter of their entry into public safety occupations. The sacrifice that you made, both in terms of lost evenings, weekends, holidays, and companionship, also comes with a financial cost, which may or may not have been at least partially absorbed by you or your department or your community. Today, as I've mentioned before, is April 23rd, 2014. And my Facebook page entry, which was done about 5:30 this morning, is indicative of the humility that I feel when I see an academy that can introduce a cadre of new law enforcement officers into their communities. They've been molded by the inspiration, enthusiasm, and experience of a dedicated instructional staff who have been supported by loved ones. Several academy instructors have assured me that these men and women are among the best that have ever participated in the Skagit Parks Academy, which speaks highly of them. Looking at them today just reinforces that fact of that matter. They're ready for public service. What Dr. Keegan did not tell you is just about at this very moment, I think, 2 minutes to go. Dr. Keegan, I happen to know, is a great baseball fan, as am I, and I'm sure several of you are too. And there's a number of folks attending the first pitch at Wrigley Field commemorating the 100th anniversary of that facility. And so what that has to do with this graduation is that we tend to be passionate about what we do at Skagit Valley College. There's times when you really don't want to go to work, and that'll be true for you. There's going to be time that you're going to experience things that no one else would experience and on the job, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't either. What I do ask you to do is, as you treat visiting public and the guests, treat them as just that, visiting public and guests who have planned a long time to come to your very special places that you act as stewards in. Treat them not as enemy combatants. This is going to be running a little bit counter to some of the instruction that you've had, because you need to understand that we've taught you lessons regarding how to recognize and effectively stop threats throughout the course of the academy. But I also remind you that the people you serve are not the enemy, and that you should project what I would call a competent protector image as opposed to a warrior image. You'll be more approachable that way. We're not at war with our park visitors, but make no mistake about it, you need to be operating with continued awareness and respect for how quickly situations may deteriorate. The community, including the people that are in this audience and well beyond that, depend upon you to serve them reliably, confidently, and above all, ethically. In a few days, you will receive your department's badge, and that badge will be a symbol of public trust and confidence in you, your department, and the trainers that have put you in a position to wear it. Never, ever let that badge become tarnished, either literally or figuratively. Because when your reputation is sullied, that's when the public confidence diminishes and service suffers. It is then that I want you nowhere near America's treasures, because I hold them dear, because I simply cannot trust you. Your service is no longer of any use to me. I'm turned off by lurid exploits of many athletes, getting back to the baseball analogy, that are portrayed by the media, because in my day, those served as role models for me. And today, it leaves you as the logical role model for youth. You wear the uniform, you are America's treasures in your own right. I challenge you personally to use the opportunity well. represent yourself and your agency in the highest form possible, and strive to create the next generation of park stewards. As I conclude my remarks, I want to say and ask you simply this: serve that constituency fairly, with a smile, with ample amounts of humility. If the job fails to motivate you to serve well, then I'm going to ask you to move on to another occupation. Your agency deserves this, so do you, and so do your loved ones. In congratulating you today, I wish you nothing but the success in all that life and public service has to offer in the days ahead. Congratulations. Okay, that'd be me again. This time, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce to you Karen Taylor Goodrich, who's the superintendent of North Cascades National Park. Karen has been around the proverbial national parks block. She has been held positions in Lake Roosevelt, Sequoia Kings Canyon, the Associate Director of Visitor and Resources Protection for the entirety of the National Park Service, and we are blessed in the Pacific Northwest to have her stewarding a true treasure of America, the North Cascades National Park Complex. Karen.
Thanks, Bill. Commander Overby, President Keegan, faculty, other staff, thank you. Thank you very much for supporting the Academy and our national park system and all the parks in the country in these protected areas. But also, thank you to the family and friends that are supporting 19 of our candidates here, and I'm sure you couldn't be prouder. This was a really remarkable day in a person's life when they venture into this career field. Also like to thank our other agency officials, my colleagues around the country, our local colleagues and my friends that are here today for supporting this academy and supporting the 19 candidates here, as well as supporting the entire field of law enforcement. It's not an easy job to do, and we oftentimes take our public service and our public safety of officers for granted. And so I'm here as a superintendent, really, is to give you my perspective from a National Park Service manager's perspective, but also as a former ranger. And so I take great pride in being a manager now with a strong operational background in the proud occupation of rangering. And that's where my special thanks go to you. First of all, for choosing the career you're choosing. It's a hard choice in life in deciding what you want to do. If this is your passion, which you wouldn't have put all this time and energy into the past 720 hours, as well as at your own expense, much of it, and leaving your family, just basically having to stop your life in order to get credentialed and then moving on to the parks, that takes a lot of dedication and clearly the passion. So I want to thank you for venturing into this world, as well as, and you might have already been working in some of this type of work, but now that you have the badge and your credentials, it will be a different kind of take on that work, and that's really what I want to speak to next. But as a former ranger, I have great respect for what you do and the kind of situations you might be coming up against in your career. And it's a fabulous way to spend your life in helping people. It's a noble profession of public service. And that's really what, as a ranger, but also in today's world, as a manager, is what makes me tick, is serving the public. And you'll be protecting resources, protecting people, but also having the benefit of working with some incredibly fine people as you go through your career. I had the benefit of going through a seasonal academy. I won't tell you when, it's much too long ago, but it's come a long way, Bill. And what you've been doing with this academy is just remarkable. And the level of professionalism, not just the number of hours, but the level of professionalism and instruction and preparation of you all to go into, in a realistic way for contemporary law enforcement within a federal land manager's setting or a state land manager's or county land manager's setting. It's an art, truly is, and it's the benefits of the Skagit Academy are great. And I think about, I had a chance to just jot down some notes as I was thinking about this for the past couple of weeks of really what would a superintendent, why would you want to even hear from a superintendent? I really just want to let you know that welcome to this profession, and rangers are the backbone of the national park system. Of course, I'm very biased that way, having come up the ranks as a ranger from a very young age and starting out in Yosemite National Park and spending most of my ranger career there, then moving on to various places around the country, and then, like Bill said, more recently serving as the chief ranger for the Park Service in Washington, D.C., and now back out in the field. It's really been a tremendous career opportunity to have the operational background as a ranger and bring that forward into managing day-to-day people and resources in a larger context, but now at a more local level. So there are tremendous challenges out there, but it can be a really fulfilling occupation. So that's why I'm here, is really to celebrate your accomplishments at the Academy, but also to welcome you to this tradition of rangering and serving the public and protecting America's treasures. And Bill, thank you for saying it does take a village. All the people around you here today, but the people you'll meet in your career, it could be someone in law enforcement, it will be someone that will perhaps not be in that division. It'll be people that will support you along the way, and it's not always going to be easy. It's a position of public trust, and that brings with it a level of expectation that will be different. You've heard this many times through the Academy, I guarantee you have. The expectations are higher for law enforcement professionals. And as a federal manager now, I clearly recognize that, and that as the backbone for park operations, you're the most visible. So a strong sense of integrity, a moral compass that's truly ingrained in your DNA will be of critical importance as you face these very challenging situations sometimes that will test your resolve for almost something you perhaps never have experienced before. Reliability is important, a sense of independence, being able to act on your own, but also being team-oriented. And that's one of the other benefits of being at Skagit Academy, and I think academies in general, is having that sense of camaraderie, and you'll carry that forward. The relationships perhaps you've had made over the past 700 plus hours will stay with you, and you'll have that sense of community within a community. And I still keep in contact with the people I went to Santa Rosa with. Many of them are retired, they're long gone in many cases, but for the most part. And then as I went to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Academy, later on in my career, I still keep in contact there. So these are really foundation building experiences for you, and I hope I don't misspeak by saying that you'll probably gain some tremendous esprit de corps with your team and tremendous level of accomplishments both on your own and with that group as you're going through the academy. And that's really a fun part of it as well. These things can be really, really fun, and the career in law enforcement can be fun too, but it doesn't come without its challenges. You've learned the tactics, all the tactical skills that you've developed over the past 700 plus hours, and then now the non-tactical skills that will come in, like just building that confidence, that sense of teamwork, the intellectual pursuits, and that challenge of working through problems. Problem solving is a critical part of law enforcement. And then also the ability to work with other dedicated professionals like Bill had just named in the audience, as well as throughout on the stage. And there are many, many people that will help you build on your skill levels. But being at the academy and having that ability every single day, working with those people that take the time away from their regular jobs to come and serve as instructors, really speaks well for the profession, but also gives you a sense of different kinds of training styles as well as perspectives, and just building on your own life experience. You each come to the table with your own backgrounds and own experiences and a sense of maturity that now you've added this, law enforcement career foundation, and to make you the whole person that you are, and that there's so much more to learn. And that's one the things that, for me, in public service that keep you going is that almost every situation, albeit sometimes familiar, will be different. And it's that problem solving of law enforcement that I always found to be rewarding. And then, some of the notes I made to myself is it's not always fun. It's the challenges or stressful situations you're dealing with and encounters, dealing with stressed people, with bad behavior. Sometimes there's high-profile incidents you're having to deal with. You're right in the middle of it with media attention. Just think about some of the things that go around the country. I mean, all of our fellow law enforcement agencies are dealing with these very high-profile, and in land management, it could be just as high-profile. Just take the example of what was happening out in Nevada with the cattle grazing issue just more recently. It's, things can just get quite frenzied in a moment's notice, but it takes that sense of calm maturity to deal with those kinds of situations that you've been probably exposed to in your maybe previous occupations and certainly at the academy, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't think you'd be able to handle those kind of situations. And one of the things I always liked about it is that it did test your sense of character sometimes. There are times and situations that you'll wonder, they'll be completely against your value system on some of the things you might encounter, but it's taking that deep breath and saying, what do I really need to do to help the situation at large? And that will, you can train and go through academies, but it's really the on-the-ground experience of dealing with those atypical, but in law enforcement, profession, probably more typical situations that will continue to build in your professional growth. So I'm really excited for you. And I remember graduating from the seasonal academy and then moving into seasonal positions for many years and then moving into permanent position and then building on that. And then if you decide to move into leadership positions, all of that operational experience, from this, from the moment certain you're born, you're gaining that sense of life experience, but now that you're adding this part of this profession, the training for this profession, it will make you a better senior manager. It'll make you a better, if you decide not to go into management, you might want to stay in operations, but what you're doing today will truly be an important foundation no matter what you do. And no matter where you are. You could be across the country, you could be overseas, but it'll all build towards a positive end goal. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the Park Service, and then I'll try to wrap up here. Is the Park Service specifically, we have 401 units in the National Park System, each one offering a different kind of experience. There's big national parks with natural and cultural resources. There are small historical parks, recreation areas, like in North Cascades, we have recreation areas and a big national park, and then there are many other different kinds of places around the country and in Hawaii, as well as Puerto Rico and Alaska and even into the Pacific Islands that will be at the doorstep. And this is a plug for the Park Service, obviously, here, but and then many local parks and county parks, state parks will have additional opportunities. So it's really a great time to be coming into this profession. There's a lot of opportunity out there, and I want to encourage you to continue with, if you're not already in a position for this summer, you'll get one. I guarantee you. You'll be snapped right up, I believe. But it's really my pleasure to welcome you to the profession. Wish you well. I think one of the things that worries me the most as a manager, and it's not necessarily worry so much as it is just a carefulness about the law enforcement professional, is the respect for officer safety, and you've had that drilled into your coursework and certainly your tactics, all of that over and over again. But I want to assure you, as in the senior leadership, it's as important for us to make sure that you put yourself, your partner, and those around you number one to make those decisions and the decisions to keep yourself safe will come from really your intuition in many cases. And it's our jobs, I believe, as managers to make sure that we're not putting you that we're doing everything possible to prepare you for what you're doing out there. But meaning, again, from a manager's perspective, we can't be with every ranger out there. So it'll be that good, like Bill had talked very clearly about some of the things that it's part of being independent. And and there's a lot of work in the park system that's not in very remote areas, so you have to be self-reliant. But it's my responsibility to make sure you have the tools that you need and the training that you need. And I assure you that it's important what you experience and the situations you're in will be important to managers where you go, and never feel uncomfortable about talking to supervisors, managers about situations, and I'm looking at our chief ranger friends out here that hopefully would agree with me, is that the door's open when you need to talk about officer safety issues, and that's a critical concern right now, and it will be for throughout your career. One of the things that I had a chance to chat with a couple chief rangers before I came here today, and I was just trying to get a sense of, so what's important out there from when you're looking at hiring new rangers, and some of the things I've already talked about, that sense of confidence and maturity, ability to think on your feet, and problem solving, and that moral compass. But one of my friends said, and he lives by this motto, and I thought it was kind of catchy here, but it's, what the heck, if you will. But the heck meaning honor, excellence, courage, and kindness make a heck of a goal. And I think that's, for the ranger profession, I think that's a healthy way to look at it. And this person I spoke with is, well into being a superintendent now, but they came up the ranger ranks like myself, and I think that captured our expectations of ourselves as we perform as public servants. But again, I really want to thank you for choosing public service, no matter where you are in federal, state, and local organizations, and congratulations. But I'm not finished yet. You thought I was. I'm not. I have something for Mr. Bill here. Where's our friend T? I have the honor of presenting an award from Koloko Hanakoha National Historical Park and Haleakala National Park and their cooperating partner, Hawaii Pacific's Parks Association, on behalf of the Hawaii Law Enforcement Legacy Program. Where's Amanda? I think there's Amanda. Okay, Amanda is the first graduate of the program. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to read the Chief Ranger, Jeanette Chiron. The Chief Ranger at Koloko sent over a gift for Bill, and I'm just going to read from this. I promised I would try to do it justice, but Amanda is the first graduate of this Hawaii Law Enforcement Legacy Program, and this is really exciting, and thank you for all the work that you've done, as well as just applying for the program. So the goal for the program is to recruit and mentor Hawaiian students and help them pursue a career in visitor and resource protection with the National Park Service. Amanda Lowe-Llanes, who is graduating from the Skagit Academy Parks Program, was given the opportunity of a developmental internship at Koloko and Haleakala National Parks. By graduating today, she is one step closer to her goal of becoming a protection ranger for the National Park Service. She has benefited tremendously from the support and mentoring of Commander Overby and T. Overby. Mahalo. With much respect and gratitude, I am sending this memento to show our appreciation of Bill's role in promoting and nurturing the partnership between the Hawaii Islands National Parks, the Skagit Parks Academy, the Skagit Foundation, as we support and inspire homegrown stewards of the Hawaiian Islands. So do you feel homegrown? Do you feel homegrown? You're a homegrown steward. Congratulations, Amanda. But also, Bill, we have a gift. It's really beautiful. It's a badge, a park ranger badge, official shield, and these are badges in Skagit Valley College, Parks Law Enforcement Academy, Hawaii Parks, and the Koloko National Historical Park badge is framed, and you might.
I will. Well, on behalf of Skagit Valley College and the Skagit Valley College Parks Foundation, Carl down at the end, I'll absolutely make sure this gets in your hands as well. This is a foundational and a milestone moment for the Hawaiian Legacy Law Enforcement Scholarship. I'm humbled beyond words. This means a lot. I actually assisted in the training for Chief Ranger Sharon when she was in Skagit some 16 years ago. And to see her rise from the ranks of those like you to the point where she is now achieving the dream as a Chief Ranger in the Hawaiian island chain, this is just an astounding award. Thank you. I'll cherish it forever. Yeah, we'll make sure that it has a prominent place in the classroom. Thank you. Thank you so much for your remarks, Superintendent Taylor Goodrich. About 9 months ago, I was faced with a dilemma that Chief Jerry Dodd assisted me in resolving. Jerry and I were faced with finding a replacement faculty member for the lead instructor position in the academy. And those kind of decisions are always those that I would equate that I become short-term terrified and long-term hopeful about who you hire. And an offer was made to Dr. Terry Edwards, who was from the University of Louisville at that moment in time. He had spent many years there as an instructor, highly revered educator, authored or co-authored several texts on criminal law and environmental law, life member of the Southern Police Institute. His list of accomplishments is amazing. If you get the opportunity to go online and research him, we are truly at Skagit fortunate to have him as a colleague. Now, I think it's safe to say that any of the instructors that take part in any of the classes here at Skagit, we have a bit of healthy competition. At least we try to make sure that we are either the most liked or most endured, or at least that these folks will quietly indulge us and stuff like that. Chief Dodd's been known to throw candy bars and stuff of this nature. And Dr. Edwards had several different tricks up his sleeve, and I think it would. I would be wrong, wouldn't I, if I didn't say that he was probably your most favorite instructor in this whole time through. I'd be remiss if I didn't turn this lectern over for one last lesson from Dr. Edwards.
Well, Bill said I could have a couple of minutes, but if you give an attorney a microphone and a captive audience, that's a disaster, okay? So in July of 1974, I began my path in law enforcement and lawyers and police officers and everything in between, and I've been involved with academies and training from the East Coast to the West Coast and internationally for that matter, but this is truly a gem, and I'm honored to have a small part of that, and I thank the cadets for letting me to come in the classroom. What, 5 or 10 minutes? At least. I would spend my 2 or 3 minutes talking about them and talking how great they are, but you know how great they are. You sent them here, you raised them, they're going to work for you. This is the future in law enforcement, and they truly are the best and the brightest, and they will serve you all well. But I'll take my last minute to thank 2 people, Bill and T. They took me in. I'm from Kentucky. I don't know, they say I have a little bit of an accent. The cadets will translate for you afterwards. You all you all. They're working on it. Let me thank Bill and T. They did taking me in and the president for making me a part of this family. But if you only knew how much time that those two people have spent on this endeavor here. I share an office with Bill when he's there. He comes in at 4, they leave at midnight, hours and hours and hours. And if you will never know how much time those two have spent on this. So I'm just happy to be a part of this. Congratulations to you.
By the way, he's probably working billable hours right now, so I'll be watching that tab. Early on in the academy, the cadets are evaluated, and it's a self-evaluation more than anything else, I believe, in which time there are elections of squad officers. It's traditional that at graduation, the squad leaders will give a presentation on behalf of their squad and provide introductions of their squad members to the group. From Eatonville, Washington, I'd like to introduce the squad leader for the Evergreen squad, and that is Forrest Young.
Today I stand up here, I wear my dad's uniform shirt and tie. In fact, I'm lucky enough to have 2 Rangers as parents. As a graduation present, they're going to give me one of my dad's hats, a Ranger flat hat. In making the decision to come here to the academy and my parents' plans to pass down this hat, I considered the implications of donning the hat and the responsibilities that accompany it in the Protection Ranger career. I wasn't sure that I was ready. A Ranger wears many different hats. I know each of us cadets have followed different paths that led us here to the diving board, ready to jump off in a career in park rangering. What we all have in common in seeking out this career is the interest in wearing different hats over the course of the day and over the course of a career. Here are some of the hats a Ranger wears. When a Ranger puts on a helmet, he or she is planning on putting themselves at risk for another. Wayne has a helmet for trad climbing around the Southwest. Nate wore one while patrolling on a dirt bike in the Natchez Ranger District, OHV area. Matt wore a hard hat while constructing trails in Alaska, and Hyde had his fire helmet while fighting wildland fire in Utah. Each Ranger is as diverse as their experience, but all gravitate towards rangering because of the high-risk, high-reward activities that require helmets, including the aforementioned climbing, high-angle rescue, OHV patrol, trail construction, fire management, and goat riding. During the academy, having the helmets out signified a good day. Tactical building clearing with airsoft guns and emergency vehicle operations with old Crown Vics. Much to the chagrin of some of the cadets, not every day involves high-speed, low-drag, helmet-wearing action. Equally as important is our ability to interface with the visiting public. On day 1, while discussing character and uniform inspections, Commander Overby made it very clear that the baseball-style ball cap serves many purposes, all of which cease to exist as soon as a Ranger steps under a soffiter inside of a building. The commander also made it clear that while there would be a quasi-militaristic aspect of the academy, we are also to be approachable, friendly, and knowledgeable about our park, and willing to share with anyone willing to listen. A hatless ranger in a visitor center should be approachable. It was not uncommon to hear the Dans discussing lumens or calibers, but equally common to hear them and others discussing migratory patterns of swans, or the seasonal mating habits of mountain goats in the Cascades. Whether you need a gear review on the most reliable handcuffs, a hike recommendation at Paradise Point State Park, or to identify one of the 5 species of anadromous salmon that run in the Skagit River, this group of Rangers is ready and eager to help you however they can. Our baseball-style ball caps represent the team orientation of rangering. Throughout the academy, the hats were notorious for jumping cadets or going missing. The baseball hats represented the team mentality. An image that sticks in my mind is when Valley was asked to lead a team building activity, one he calls the human knot. The commander made the mistake of walking in the door to the side of all 19 of his cadets, holding hands twisted and contorted into a pile. After a second of contemplation and silence from the class awaiting judgment by the commander, he decided the best course of action was what law enforcement calls tactical redeployment and walked out silently. Time and time again, cadets came together, staying true to the no cadet left behind mandate. People who struggled with one practical exercise or exam were taught by those who excelled in that area. Bonds and trust were built when we huddled together under the refreshing water in the men's showers, alternating between Johnson & Johnson's No More Tears shampoo and letting out excited utterances as residual pepper spray found its way back into eyes, noses, and other orifices. These relationships will carry on. The bonds are the foundation by which we as Rangers and law enforcement officers will find success in our duties and safety on our most dangerous days. Amanda was known for wearing her fleece uniform beanie. The warm winter hat is a reminder that the parks we hope to serve in are as diverse as the class itself. From shooting in a spontaneous blizzard at the range in Bellingham to driving in a torrential downpour at the airport track, we as Rangers are prepared for all sorts of conditions all over the country. Amanda joins us from Hawaii and is currently wearing 3 layers of long underwear under a uniform to avoid hypothermia in Washington's April conditions. Jackson's assignment at Fire Island National Seashore will likely have him in park-issue swim trunks patrolling the beach. From the parks in the city of Everett to Lassen Volcano and Golden Gate Bridge in California, from Dosey Wallops and Sun Lake State Park to Koloko Honokahau on Hawaii and the Great Sand Dunes and Indiana Sand Dunes in Colorado and Indiana, we get our start here in Mount Vernon at Skagit Valley College and soon after disperse to all corners of the state, region, and country. Parks will vary and with them conditions and duties, but our adaptability and willingness to accept challenges will carry us through. Perhaps the most iconic of the hats worn at all parks and agencies is the flat hat, the universal symbol of the park ranger. The flat hat sits atop a khaki or gray and green uniform and represents authority, tradition, and public service. The flat hat predates the National Park Service, originating in 1886 with the U.S. Cavalry's campaign hats during their administration of the nation's national parks. The flat hat carries with it a tradition of problem solvers and protectors, men and women responsible for great expanses of public land. An evolution of duties and responsibilities has occurred. Today we celebrate a class's graduation from a law enforcement academy. We exit the college and enter the world as commissionable park rangers. Perhaps less so in present audiences, this aspect of rangering is often overlooked and misunderstood. On day one, many of us had only began to understand what being a law enforcement ranger meant. On that day, we discussed law enforcement rangers killed in the line of duty, including Ranger Margaret Anderson and Ranger Chris Eggle. A few days into the second week, we were issued our duty gear, and we learned the implications of wearing a bulletproof vest and defensive equipment. The weight of the gear is dwarfed by the weight of the purpose it serves and the responsibility that accompanies it. I mentioned at the beginning of the speech that I wasn't sure that I'm ready to don my dad's old flat hat and be a ranger. My dear mother told me 18 weeks ago not to get cynical. During DT, Officer Lumpkin told us you will not quit, and last week Matt told me he didn't want to get shot. The size 7 hat seemed too large to handle, and the weight seemed crushing. What gives me confidence to be here, to get ready and go out and wear my hat, is trust. From co-workers and prior academy graduates to my sister who's missing school to be here, I trust the support of that my family and friends offer. The cadre of instructors with subjects ranging from constitutional law and the history of the Kentucky State Police to firearms manipulation to report writing and ethics has been outstanding. I trust the instructors and the materials, skills, and tactics they provided. Our very own Commander Overby. The effort he gives and the amount he cares is immense. Words truly falter in inadequately describing his role in facilitating the transition from cadets to rangers. I will say this. If he is as good at training rangers as he is at extricating a non-compliant driver from a car, then I trust we are all ready to wear the ranger hat. Finally, in 3 weeks when my assignment at Grand Teton National Park begins, and for the rest of what hopefully becomes a career, I trust and look forward to working with these 18 rangers and all of the rangers and officers already serving. You in the audience, go forth and enjoy the places that these rangers behind me serve and sacrifice to protect. And to the cadets, remember which hat to wear it proudly, and wear it often.
Just a symbol of my appreciation for your leadership.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. One more thing, Forrest. Tell your squad, in fact, Hartlerode, you can tell your squad too. No more talk about goats. And there'll be no more talk about vehicle extrications. Okay? We straight on that? Back to my notes. The same day that that Forrest was elected into his position as a squad leader for the Evergreen Group. Wayne Hartlerode from Compton, Arkansas, was also elected into his role as the squad leader for the Cascade Group. These folks, they bear a load when they have to corral and herd butterflies for 16 weeks and put up with the likes of Dr. Edwards and Lieutenant Davis. Never mind the commander. Wayne, some words?
First of all, on behalf of the class, I would like to thank everybody for coming out here today and to be a part of the ceremony. I know some of you have traveled extremely far to get here today, some people as far as Florida and some people further. Also, welcome those of you who are watching via live stream online right now from the comfort of your homes or other places. Mom, Dad, Grandma, hi. And on behalf of the class, I would also like to take this time to thank every instructor that has taken their time to participate and share with us their skills. Specifically, Dr. Edwards, thanks for the best legal instruction anybody from Kentucky could ever provide. Chief Dodd, thank you for teaching us how to write better reports than Officer Buck Savage. Officer Lumpkin, thanks for teaching us how to play with spaghetti noodles, marshmallows. Most importantly, redefining failure, though, and also teaching us to never give up. To all of our EVOC instructors, thank you so much for telling us to disregard everything that we ever learned in driver's education. Hugh and all the firearms instructors that are present, thanks for your patience, and thank you again for your patience. Also, thank you to some special instructors that come to mind over the past 4 months. Woody Jones, Marty Huseman, Detective Young, Detective Harris, and Skip, Officer Smales, and also Kevin Ross, thank you so much for tying everything together during scenarios and making all that work. Also, Ranger Weta, thank you for spending time coming to class and answering so many questions for us and helping us out with all of our questions about jobs in the National Park Service. I'd also like to thank Superintendent Karen Goodrich today for coming to speak, as well as the college president. Again, all of these instructors that came have taken time out of their busy jobs in order to share with us some of their experience and their passions. It's such a unique opportunity to participate in an academy like this and get to learn such a wide range of skills from so many gifted instructors in such a short period of time. Of course, all of our loved ones right now are thinking all we've been doing the past 4 months is watching videos, racing cards, having arts and crafts time, and occasionally shooting guns. While that's not too far from the truth, and it's probably a big part of the reason a lot of us are choosing to go this career path, we have been learning such a wide range of skills of any job that I've ever encountered. At times, many of us excelled, and sometimes we struggled. There are many skills to learn in an academy like this. Today, I want to talk about how impressed I've been with everybody in this academy. Now, first of all, I want to take this time to talk about how impressed I've been with my squad members in Cascade Squad. Not saying that we were the better squad or anything like that, but we definitely did better in firearms. But really, we were all one team, and I enjoyed getting to know everybody. We just, in particular, I spent a great amount of time getting to know everybody in Cascade, getting to know what their aspirations are, what their passions are, and it's just been a great experience. Every person that showed up for my squad in the first day of class is still present today and is walking with graduation. And I just have to say how proud I am of everybody in the squad that was able to accomplish that. That's a big deal. Even on the first day of defensive tactics, when Officer Lumpkin grabbed Dan, you can see him in the back row, he's about 6'8". He took him and in one swift, fluid-like motion, just spun him right onto the ground. And we were all in a little bit of fear from that point on. Even on the first day after we shot pistols from 25 yards away, which seemed like the target was teeny tiny from that distance, and I don't think half of us hit the target, but I'm pretty sure that half was evergreen. Even when Evan was the first to take the first taser ride, and he let out the most horrifying noise, and everybody in the class shared the most obvious brief moment of collective hesitation before continuing on with that. Even after having to fight Amanda in the red man suit, even after all those class hours over the Constitution the first weeks, and the only thing that got us through was Dr. Edwards' lawyer jokes, after some of us not getting the job that we had hoped for, after some of us spent the first 3 months in EMT class and hardly got any sleep, after some of us consistently drove over an hour one way just to come to this academy to get the certificate they needed to go on with the Park Service. And after some of us have left behind loved ones, family, wives, children to be here. Resiliency is the ability to persevere despite difficult circumstances, stress, or adversity. At some point or another, I can specifically remember an instance where every cadet in this class faced adversity and worked through it. I also remember a time when each cadet in this class demonstrated some strengths that they possess and were able to step up to a challenge and face it with confidence and also with grace. So my hope for this class is to see that this is just the beginning. Many of us are headed to parks where we will face new challenges. And being that this is a park ranger academy, I'd like everybody in this class to take some time to think about why you went down this park ranger path. Whether that's the love of the outdoors, protecting natural resources, or sharing the treasures of the park with others. My advice to class 24 is to identify what your strengths were in this academy and move forward to your new jobs with confidence in those strengths and also with an open mind to improve. I wish you all the best of luck. And we are all very fortunate in this academy to have had the opportunity to be influenced by Commander Overby. I have no doubt that no matter what obstacles we're going to face, we are as best prepared as we could be because we went to this particular academy. Remember, class, all the commandments that we were taught, and I'm pretty sure that as long as we remember those and keep those in our thoughts as we go through with our careers, that we will all be in good shape. So I wish the best of luck of everybody moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. I have something for you here. Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you. Nice job. So I heard a lot about driving long distances and being up late studying for EMT classes and the like, but nobody's whining, are they? It's a good thing. It's a good thing. At the same time that the squad leaders were elected, there were also sergeants at arms that basically were the enforcers for the squads. They were the daily go-to people for things like uniform inspections, discipline, and the like. And I'd like to recognize the squad leaders. I'd like to recognize Sean McCaffrey for the Evergreen Squad. And then the Sergeant at Arms for the Cascade Group, who has also been elected as the class keynote speaker, and that is Megan Ortega.
Hi. Day one. Do you guys remember it? I was so nervous. The pre-academy paperwork promised a quasi-militant environment. I envisioned orders, push-ups for minor infractions, demeaning shouting. I had steeled myself for this. On day one, the very first hour, I sat between Katie and Wayne in the front row, rigid back, feet flat on the floor. I was ready. Bring it on. At exactly 6:59, Commander Overby and the Honorable Dr. Edwards marched into the room with authority. Commander did not smile. He paced. I was quaking in my stiff boots. Little did I know it was everything his body could do to keep his big heart from welcoming us with open arms. Before the hour was out, I received a tiny, reassuring smile. Dr. Edwards sat in the back of the room that hour, intimidating at the time, but now I realize I'm sure it's so we couldn't see his big grin. I was relieved none of you looked any more comfortable in your uniforms than I felt in mine. We've come a long way since then. I've been honored to witness and share your experience at the Academy. Families, thank you for the support you've offered each of these cadets. You should be proud. I am. I'm honored to be a part of this group. Your son or daughter, your husband or dad had integrity, commitment, is team-oriented, and takes pride in their work, but is humble-hearted. They show attention to detail, and they have discipline and courage. They've been adaptable to rapidly changing situations, and they show fitness mentally and physically. They are sensitive to the situation of others while maintaining a professional bearing. Their performance in many facets of the Academy required an eye to safety. And they have balanced this patiently with riotous laughter and good fun. They have handled the whole Academy with grace. It's been fun to spend so much time with you guys. And in no particular order, Kyle, you've been an awesome table mate. Dull, you're sincere, and make me think of kitties. Never a dull moment. Frerichs, what do you call an illegally parked frog? Claire? Claire, get a grip. Wayne, pleather pants. Hyde, you are hidesome. Stephen, you're a star, T-baby. Katie, I think you're the bravest person in class because not only did you opt for probes, you went second. Sean, Sergeant Stallion, you did it all. I don't know how, but way to go. Forrest, you politician, 3 words, one of them is or. Valley, girl. David, you're surprisingly loud. Hendrix, you're full of surprises. Amanda, you're the sweetest, most genuine badass ever. Action Jackson, nice scar. Tangen, you've got commitment, and I'm glad we're in the same agency. Evan, perseverance, it's gotten you this far, cynic. And Furlong, one team. Me, I've got one question. Okay, maybe a few. What are you gonna remember? What are you gonna share? Who are you gonna share your passion with? And who are you gonna thank?
Nicely done, nicely done. To the people who are west of us, and that takes a bit of doing, but there are some people that are far west of us, the folks from Hawaii, this is an opportunity for me to say mahalo, much mahalo. I would like at this time to call a Hawaiian cultural presentation of thanks that will be provided by Amanda, Sophia, Keanuenueokamoana, Lowe-Llanes.
I just wanted to say thanks to a handful of people, Hawaiian style, kind of. So if I call your name, just come up and make a line on the stage. Commander Overby. Lieutenant Overby. Where'd you go? She's somewhere. Dr. Edwards. Chief Dodd. I know. Officer Mike Lumpkin. Sir Carl Young. And Kevin Ross. There are so many other instructors that I wish I could have made lays for, but I would have been up all night. So everyone else, thank you guys. And now you guys got to dance the hula. Just kidding. Yeah, you guys can go.
Now there's something.
I already did it.
Okay. I lost my. At this time, I'd like to present some awards for some outstanding work that was done, strong work, as a former graduate would say. And I made mention in the little speech that I did about the Facebook notice this morning that honored you folks. I neglected to tell you that just before we walked in, it had already had 129 hits and was counting. And think of all the people that are away at work and stuff that haven't seen that yet. So they too have awesome things to say about you. So when I call your name and for the particular event, just please come forward. This is the time when the lieutenant's organization will be of use, I think. So I would like to start out with an award that was begun in 2010 by actually a graduate of the 2010 Academy, Park Ranger Jason Allen, and it is on behalf of the Association of National Park Rangers. It's called the Seasonal Perspective Award. And this award is provided to the individual graduate who recognizes, it's in recognition of professionalism, demeanor, leadership, and fostering of a stewardship ethic as he or she moves forward in the career path. This award comes with an engraving on a perpetual plaque that stays in the room, the main classroom of the Academy, and also comes with a 1 year's membership to the Association of National Park Rangers. And it is indeed my privilege to present the Seasonal Perspectives Award to Forrest Bauer Young. We heard some words regarding the importance of fitness. And this, the National Park Service and the State Park System and certainly the City of Everett and other land management agencies that are out there value those folks who are committed to health and physical fitness. The cadets were pushed to be ready when they arrived at the campus, ready to go. What, about 3 or 4 days in, 5 days in, you had your baseline physical efficiency battery. From that point forward, they spent the next 14 weeks increasing their abilities to move forward, and the efforts were remarkable. Fitness instructor Jack Hart would indicate that this was one of the most fit and committed classes of any that we've ever had. There are 2 top physical fitness awards that are given this year, and this was given at the suggestion of the fitness instructors. I believe, I'm not sure that Jack Hart is in the room, but I know Jeremy Jalali is, or he was. Thank you, Jeremy. Both are graduates of the Cooper Institute that sets the physical efficiency battery for the National Park Service, also monitors the physical assessment testing for the State Criminal Justice Training Commission on behalf of the local and state departments. Top Physical Fitness Award for demonstrating the highest overall degree of proficiency over all areas of the federally adopted physical exercise battery as assessed under the Federal Law Enforcement Training Accreditation board accredited protocols. This award will go to Sean Thomas McCaffrey. The second award, again, a top physical fitness award for demonstrating the highest overall degree of proficiency over all areas, again, of the federally adopted PEB, physical exercise battery, as assessed under PLEA accredited protocols, goes to Claire Elizabeth Gripp. I would call at this time Officer Mike Lumpkin to the stage. Mike is the lead control tactics instructor that provides awards for these kinds of things. Okay, and he has a few words to say. There's 2 for closed skills, 100%, and then, okay.
It's kind of interesting standing up talking about defensive tactics and fighting wearing pink flowers. Thank you, Amanda. It's very humbling. For the defensive tactics portion of the academy, these students spend countless hours in the classroom, in the mat room, and at home learning and practicing tactics and tools to help them protect others and themselves. This process involved in its most literal sense blood, sweat, and tears. Some took the blood part of it to a little bit of an extreme. Jackson, still recovering from some of his scars. I made a promise to these cadets that I would push them physically and mentally to make sure that they were prepared for the worst this profession had to offer. I also promised that I would not pass a single person that did not demonstrate the skill to not only protect the public and themselves, but also to protect their partners. As I told them in the beginning, I don't approach this from the perspective of training a class of students or cadets. I approach this from the perspective of training my backup. That is something I take very seriously. I trained the person that I wanted to protect me. I can honestly say that every single one of these students, for the first time ever in my experience with this academy, rose to that challenge. We did not have a single failure in this entire class, and they all deserve a round of applause for their effort. I also have the privilege and honor, along with our academy staff, to select our defensive tactics top gun. This is more than just a person who had the highest test scores. Specifically speaking, we actually had 3 overall students that scored 100% on their final, and I have a award for each of them. Our first 100% goes to Claire Gripp. And our second, Nathan Action Jackson. And the last one that I'd like to present, I can honestly say was an honor. It was really hard to pick one Top Gun out of our entire class, if you will. But we look for somebody that shows a commitment and an excellent embrace the concept of training not only 50% for themselves, but 50% for their partner. And according to not only myself, but the other staff at the academy, this person spent countless hours not only perfecting their skills, but spending hours in making sure that their classmates were able to pass their skills and perfect them as well. And it is my honor to present Amanda Lowe-Llanes as our DT Top Gun. On that, I'll agree with Megan. Probably the quietest, most humble badass I've ever met.
Thank you, Mike. Okay. If we can't handle them with our hands, we'll handle them with firearms. Sounds a little ominous. Actually, the firearms weapons instruction takes in proficiency awareness, handling, nomenclature, the ability to maintain and use, carry, and display Sig Sauer P229 9mm pistols, Remington 870P 12-gauge shotguns, and Superior Arms A15 223 caliber long rifles. The cadets would go through the training. They must qualify on all those weapons and demonstrate proficiency in the same. Firearms instructors, show me your hands. Jason Stapert's out there. Ken Higman's out there. Are there others that I'm missing? Hugh, where is Hugh Dewar? Yes, thank you very much, Hugh, for your service to the Academy. And there are others that are not able to be in attendance today, so we thank you for that. As we go through, we talk about the top day qualifications. The top day qualification score with a 29 out of 30 in the handgun proficiency is Kyle Allen Christensen. We also had top day qualifications at 29 out of 30 for Wayne Hartlerode. And a third day qualification, 29 out of 30, Christopher Hendrix. Then we had a top night and low light qualification score of a perfect 30 for 30, and that was shot by Kyle Christensen. When we talked about patrol rifle, we had 3 perfect scores. Nicholas Furlong, Sean McCaffrey, and Kyle Christensen. We killed a lot of trees for this cadet because Kyle Christensen also comes away with the top shooter award for firearms. I got the greatest job in the world. I get to teach my students how to wrestle and how to shoot, and then they get to drive fast, right? It's good. We heard a little bit about driving fast. Is Kevin McFadden, Sergeant McFadden, in the room? Okay, over there. How you doing? Kevin, do you want to come up here, or do you want to just lay in the weeds? Okay, I kind of thought so. Kevin's having to hang out because they're kind of short-staffed up in Whatcom County Sheriff's Office, and we thank you, we thank your agency, and we thank Bellingham International Airport, and also the instructors from the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office that provide the EVOC training each year. We have a number of awards. The first award that I will give is one that was unscripted and wasn't on my radar until this morning. There is a situation that was brought to my attention about one of the cadets that was having some issues maintaining a safe distance away from a cone. And so the EVOC instructor saw fit to provide her own cone to Claire Gripp. You're welcome. On a more serious note, we have awards for the student driver with the quickest clean run of the combined squads during a one-run competition. That was 2 minutes, 37.78 seconds This is a clean run is one where no cones are hit, and believe me, it would be like trying to drive a vehicle through a space as wide as this podium to me. I don't know, it's 10 pounds of taters in a 5-pound sack, but somehow or another they do it. And this award, what we call the EVOC Top Gun for EVOC course, this award goes to Kyle Christensen. Now there are other cones that go with this, and I haven't assembled those out here to know who exactly they go. Oh, they've got their tags already on them. How cool. Okay. Then we have, and Kyle, you were supposed to get one for this one, so come back up here, buddy. Yeah, I wouldn't want you to be without your cone. All right, you're welcome. Kyle will also have his name mounted on that plaque up at the, or it's actually a larger cone that stays perpetually with the program. Then we have the EVOC Top Gun Award for placement, which is awarded to the student driver with combined squads with quickest clean run during qualifications. That time was 1 minute 32 and 5/100 seconds. That award, Top Gun for placement course, goes to Megan Ortega. Nice driving. And you shouldn't have gotten away too quick, because the EVOC Top Gun for EVOC course awarded to the student driver from Cascade with the quickest clean run during a one-run competition, 2 minutes 45 and 97/100 seconds. Again, Megan Ortega. I believe that this is the first time we've ever had a 2-cone award winner. Is that right, Kevin? I don't know. We would also say that it's fundamentally unique to have many people do so many clean runs and things of this nature, so there are many certificates that will be following up here shortly. Awarded to the student driver from Evergreen with the quickest clean run during a one-run competition at 2 minutes 47 and 59/100 seconds, Sean McCaffrey. We want to recognize those drivers that had clean qualifying runs, those folks that made it through the entire course under qualifying times without running over any cones, any placement cones. So I'm going to hand out on behalf of the EVOC instructors a number of EVOC clean qualification runs for those drivers who successfully completed one clean qualification run during performance testing. We'll start with Katie Ashe. Matthew Hyde. Nate Jackson. Sean McCaffrey. Matt Valley. Forrest Young. Kyle Christensen. Nick Furlong. Chris Hendrix. Now, what's unusual is when you are able to pair up two drivers, a driver who has successfully completed two clean qualification runs during performance testing. That is it's difficult enough with one, but 2 is really remarkable. Amanda Lowe-Llanes. And Megan Ortega. And the final EVOC award is for the overall Top Gun award that goes to Kyle Christensen. Yes. Now we get into some serious subject matter, and that's the Academic Achievement Award. These cadets are required as part of their curriculum to study furiously and take on 5 courses that are 5 examinations that are administered by the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, the National Park Service in Brunswick, Georgia. They will take those tests on individually loaned iPad equipment. The examinations are sent electronically to each student. They get virtually instant feedback upon the completion of their exams. It's unique in the United States to have that testing format. The instructors are sometimes frustrated from the standpoint that we are not permitted to see those test questions. I have no idea what those test questions look like, and it's better that way, I think, because we keep it clean that way. Amanda, did these come in with a lay, or what's the deal here? The Academic Achievement Award is awarded to the cadet who achieved the highest overall percentage ranking over 27 measured performance standards. There's the 5 examinations. There are 16, as you know, 16 memorandum assignments. There are a host of writing assignments that are done qualitatively. And at the end of the day, when everything was totaled up, the certificate goes to a cadet who achieved at the rate of 98.002%, which is extremely high. And the amazing thing is that he won only by less than 5 100ths, I believe it was, of a percentile in achieving this. So we had academically a strong class, is what I'm trying to say. Class average was in the vicinity of 90%. Again, at 98.002, the 2014 Academic Achievement Award goes to Forrest Young. And then, finally, it's left to us to decide based on the overall structure of the class. We have academics, we have firearms, we have control tactics, EVOC, a host of different things that we look at. All subject matter area. This award is the Overall Achievement Award. It's awarded to the cadet who demonstrates the highest overall rating over all performance dimensions throughout the course of the 720-hour academy without any remediation in any subject matter area. All elements were performed to the accredited standards of the National Park Service and the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, and it is indeed my privilege to provide the Overall Achievement Award for this academy to Kyle Christensen. Consistently high across the board. They get more competitive every year. I would like to ask Dr. Keegan, Superintendent Taylor Goodrich, Chief Dodd, Dr. Edwards to join me up on the podium here so that we can present certificates to these. So cadets, when I call your name, please come forward. Wayne Robin Hartlerode. Forrest Bauer Young. Megan Jean Ortega. Amanda Sophia Keanuenueokamoana, Lowe-Llanes. Sean Thomas McCaffrey. Kyle Allen Christensen. Matthew Raymond Valley. Stephen Michael Tarr. Matthew Ray Tangen. Okay. There. Christopher Paul Hendrix. Evan Donald Seidl. Nathan August Jackson. Matthew Robert Hyde. David Mark Harris. Claire Elizabeth Gripp. Nicholas Martin Furlong.
Thank you.
Daniel Robert Frerichs. Daniel Nelson Dole. Katie Ann Ashe. Thank you very much for your assistance up here. And now, cadets, if you would please stand. At this time, it's an honor and a privilege to introduce Chief Jerry Dodd of the Mount Vernon Police Department. Chief Dodd serves as the individual instructor for ethics, professional conduct, bias policing. The list goes on, and it's only fitting that he be asked to administer the symbolic oath of honor to our graduates today. Chief Dodd.
Go ahead and have a seat and relax for a second. Thank you, Bill. It's truly an honor, and it's very humbling for me to stand before the graduating class of 2014 and among the many friends, loved ones, family that are here today. Class 2014, throughout the past 4 months, we have openly discussed the importance of Parks law enforcement ethics and professional conduct. All of you are expected to maintain your conduct, behavior, and performance at the highest ethical standards in our society. And you're very rarely forgiven for any unethical shortcoming or breach of public trust. To be worthy of this public trust and to ensure that your professional conduct is above reproach. You must not only conform with the law enforcement code of ethics, but you'll take an oath today in front of your family, friends, loved ones, and maybe even your boss. The law enforcement oath of honor is a symbolic statement of your ethical commitment. In your class, you were asked to make an ethical commitment to yourself. But today, it's time for you to make a formal commitment to others, to witness that you sincerely intend to do what you say, and that you promise what you say is the truth. When you take this oath, you promise that you will follow and obey these principles and hold yourself accountable to that promise at all times, today, tomorrow, and in the future. Class 2014, please stand. Class 2014, raise your right hand. Law enforcement oath of honor. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for your actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agencies I serve. Class 2014, as you stand in front of your family, friends, loved one, and guests, please acknowledge your commitment to this oath by saying, I do. I do. Please remain standing and lower your hands. Commander.
You guys had to think about that for a minute, didn't you? Ladies and gentlemen, with the authority that's vested in me as Academy Commander by the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center and the National Park Service, Washington State Parks, and the City of Everett, I present to you Session 24, Graduating Class 2014, Skagit Valley College Parks Law Enforcement Academy. This afternoon, there will be a reception in the foyer. Folks in the audience, if you would please remain standing as our cadets, the colors are stricken and the cadets leave the stage here, and the folks that are on the other end over here as well. And then join us, please, in meeting and receiving line so you can greet and congratulate your cadet. Color guard, please strike the colors.
Color guard, carry colors. Right, face, forward, march.
Class, attention. Forward, march.